Thank you so much, Madhur, for amazing hosting and introducing me. And congratulations to Suraj for becoming a WQ champion today and sharing your story with all of us, adding so much value. Your enthusiasm and your excitement looks into your talk. And Giri Susma, thank you so much for everything that you both do for this community. All my clients use your meditation sessions in all of my programs and they get benefited. So thank you so much. Okay, so I'll quickly share my screen and share what I wanted to discuss today. Okay. Okay, let's get started then. See, when we think about health risk, right, we often look outside our homes. But for some of the most silent and dangerous threats may actually be hidden only in your kitchen. Okay, so this session is not to scare you, it is to empower you, to bring awareness so that you can take better decisions for yourself and your families. So let me take you all back almost 100 years. So in year 1929 in Chicago, people were dropping dead, okay? They were dropping dead in their homes. It took 15 deaths for authorities to finally realize the cause of the death. And it was all their fridges. See, back then the fridges were used to use a toxic chemical which circulates and cool down the food. But if it leaks, then it can kill you without informing or giving any warning to you. Some gases were flammable, so a leak along with a flame will actually blow up your house. So a chemical company called DuPont in 1936 decided to solve this problem, to find a chemical which is neither toxic nor flammable. So they hired a chief scientist, 27-year-old Roy J. Plunkett, and he was experimenting with this gas. It's called as tetrafluoroethylene. One day he was setting up his lab, and what he found is when he opened the valve of the cylinder, there was no gas in it. So he thought maybe the gas would have leaked. Uh, but when he measured the cylinder, it weighs as equal to as the gas was full in it. So he got curious and he just cut open the cylinder itself. And what he found is a sticky, slippery white material inside the cylinder. Now, the science behind what happened to the gas and from where this white powder came in. See, what happened is under the high pressure and temperature of the cylinder, one of the gas molecules, this double bond between the carbon atom got splitted. Okay, and it introduced a chain reaction with all the other gas molecules, forming a very long chain. So now it became a polytetrafluoroethylene, okay, PTFE. So he ran some experiments on this newly found material. Okay, he put acid, he put water, he put bases, but nothing was reacting with this powder. He used all the solvents available in his lab, but nothing reacted with this material. So what do you do with a material that doesn't react with anything? Well, if you were DuPont, you would do this. You will brand name it as a Teflon, a catchy name, and then you market it as a non-stick coating. And bam, it has got applications in the space suits. The Apollo NASA mission used Teflon in their space suits. It is still used in spacecraft, by the way. It was used in the Manhattan Project, the first nuclear bomb, which was used in World War II, to coat the interior of the pipes, which used to take the chemicals in, and the corrosion was avoided with this Teflon coating. And now from the nuclear power plants all the way to our home in the last 100 years, this thing have made in our kitchen, right? So pan sticks, non-sticks are amazing product, right? It makes our cooking so easy, so convenient, no mess at all, right? You can prepare restaurant-like food, crispy dosas, for example, correct? Now, if Teflon is so good, then why so many cases? Why so many lawsuits are filed against manufacturers of Teflon? Okay, so let me introduce to this little guy, which is called as PFAS. Okay, So PFAS are human-made chemicals that do not break easily in environment. Okay, why they are like that? Because it is made with long carbon and fluorine chains. This carbon and fluorine bond is the strongest chemical bond that we know of. So it is so inert that it doesn't react with anything. Food, water, soil, chemicals, nothing could react it and could break this bond. Now, what is the connection between Teflon and PFAS? So PFAS are the chemicals which is used in manufacturing of Teflon. So there was a chemical called as PFOA. It was banned in 2013. Okay, not very far from now. PFA was directly linked to cause all these diseases, cancers, thyroid, immune issues. Okay, companies have phased out this chemical, but now they're using another one called as Genex, which is actually very similar to PFOA, and all the issues still exist. Okay, so let's take a look at this documentary to find out what kind of damage PFAS is doing.
Here we are in the Faroes, a remote community up in the North Atlantic. We have been living or fishing for hundreds of years. We have no production of chemicals, but we are exposed to a lot of chemicals. They came to us without our asking us. We have seen negative effects on the health of our children. We want to see their development because we have always been a bit suspicious if these substances can have any impact on the endocrine system. That is a price to pay for what the international society have done without thinking about the consequences of just releasing new substances.
What we have seen here in the Faroes is that this is part of an absolutely global contamination that may have started in the 1960s without us being aware of it.
PFAS is everywhere.
PFAS have contaminated our food supply, and PFAS can also accumulate in soils and sediments.
There are chemists who have sampled rainwater on the Antarctica and in the Himalayas. What do they find in the rainwater? PFAS. It's all over.
They don't just stay in the environment, in our water, in our soil, but they get into living things, and they stay in us. It's like a ticking time bomb in the body as this stuff is building up and coating all of our organs and staying there year after year.
We have analyzed thousands and thousands of human blood samples. We never met one that did not contain PFASs.
We have all paid a high price due to large corporations carelessly dumping known toxic chemicals. Through no fault of my own, I was exposed to these toxic chemicals, and as a result, I will die with this cancer.
We've all been used as guinea pigs for the last 70 to 80 years. We weren't told we were being exposed, even though the companies knew that these things, if we put them into these products, they will get into people. They will get into people's blood. But they did it anyway.
The poison in all of us, right? So the companies who were responsible for this contamination had to pay hefty fines for this global contamination with the PFAS chemicals. 3M, a very famous company, most of you already know them. They paid more than $10 billion so far. The cases are actually running still. There are active cases in 2025, by the way. DuPont paid more than $1 billion, and other companies, multi-million dollar, have been paid. Right? So what we have learned so far, PFAS and Teflon doesn't react with anything. It doesn't decompose. And that's why they have earned a name called as forever chemicals for themselves. Okay. It's a group of chemical. There are 12,000 plus known chemicals that comes under this category. Okay. Now the question is it safe? Absolutely not. Okay. What we have just learned, right? Now let's take a look what it does to human body. What the effect of Teflon and PFAS is in our human body. Okay. So what are the ways in which it will first enter your body, right? So there are mainly three ways. First, you can eat it. Now I know you have been very careful with your Teflon cookwares. Whenever it gets scratched, you change it every 6 months. But no matter what you do, the little Teflon coating will always enter your body. Okay. The second way, if you overheat your Teflon pans with over 230 degrees Celsius, which is not that high, by the way. In general, if you use a high flame in your uh, kitchens, the temperature goes up to 400 degrees Celsius. Okay. The black fumes will come out of the pan in which Teflon reacts with the air. And those fumes can give you something called as polymer fume fever, with a symptom of headache, fatigue, weakness, stomach pain. Okay. And this is so extremely bad, this chemicals, that it can actually kill birds. So if you have a pet bird at home, I highly recommend not to use non-stick cookwares. Now, the third route is everything around you. See, the companies have been polluting the environment for last 70, 80 years. So PFAS is in water, in all the soil, and it has made its way to food and water. And when we eat them, it just goes inside our body. Okay, and it stays there for a very, very long time. Okay, so how long does it stay in our body is the question. And the answer is PFAS is bioaccumulative. It is far more dangerous than plastics, right? You all have been getting warned about plastic, but get this, nobody talked about PFAS so far. Now, what is mean by bioaccumulative? Let me explain you with this one of the PFAS chemicals. Okay, so this little guy called as perfluorobutane sulfonic acid is used to make sticky notes. How many of you have used sticky notes in your offices or home? If you have ever used it, you have been exposed to this PFAS chemical. Now, this PFAS chemical structure is very similar to fatty acids. These fatty acids are essential for human body to make energy and to provide us and give immunity. But the chemical structure is so similar of PFAS chemical, only the fluorine can be replaced with hydrogen and it becomes the fatty acids, that our body confuses them. When we eat PFAS through our food and water, the lipoproteins which carry fat from our blood to our organs, they also carry these PFAS molecules and deliver it to places where they shouldn't be. And long-term effect, you will have a lot of fatigue, weakness, immune problem, and lot many diseases. So convenience comes with the price. Okay, PFAS has been studied and association has been found with all these mentioned problems, diseases, including cancer. And I'm not just saying it is maybe linked. No, no, no. There are clear scientific proof and evidences to correlate directly with a lot of cancers. Okay, so now the question is, what can you do? Okay, the only thing that you can do is stop putting more of it into your body. Okay, it is bioaccumulative. There is no way you are getting it out from your body now. Okay, whatever's in your blood, it is going to remain there. I'm sorry for that, but at least we can stop putting more of this stuff in our family's health. Okay, and that is the reason why I personally stick with no non-stick. Okay, now before we close, okay, whatever we learned today, right? So don't let this learning lead to knowledge. Okay, let this learning lead to action. Now, what action can you take? Choose PFAS-free products. Choose PFAS-free cookwares. And not only cookwares, by the way, PFAS is in your all waterproofing solutions. If you wear a waterproof makeup, waterproof lipsticks, waterproofing your carpet, your homes, waterproof paints. Okay. If you visit 3M car wash and they spray the waterproofing on your car seat, it's all PFAS. So choose PFAS-free. Eat healthy, be healthy, use right cookwares. And with that, thank you so much. Back to host.